Hello, Dad.
Hey, Mark.
Today is August 21st, 2025. We talked about a couple of things. Um, One thing we talked about is a little fight that Uncle Lonnie got into with some girls, and he
Oh, yeah.
had
Yeah.
you want came to get you for some backup. Um,
Well, he could take care of one, too, but he couldn't take care of four, five, or six
oh, okay.
because I think it's all piling on.
Well, another thing we talked about was marbles.
Oh, yeah.
And those marbles are some marbles have been located.
Yes.
You want to grab that box and maybe look
Oh,
for an
yeah.
actual marble that you can say that
Yeah, I think it's some marbles that your
there's,
mama had put back.
and there may be one in there that um, well, some of them aren't marbles, but you said there were some in there. I think you used the word shooters.
Put that big old flat piece over there out of the way. Yeah, there's some shooters in here that you could shoot across the ground that you played on. And I see about five or six in here, look like,
Can you
at
pull one
least.
or two of them out?
Yeah.
And you can just set that box between down there between your legs, maybe after you're finished. Now that you got one or two in your hand, and you can set that box down, and then can you take that and kind of hold your hand like so?
Yeah, I don't know whether you can see that though or not.
Can you hold one like this, like between two fingers? There you go.
I got,
Now turn your hand more this way. That right like that. That is a marble,
that's a marble.
and that's what you played games with as far as shooting.
Right, that's a shooter right there.
Now we ought to go back to answers and questions instead of me talking, or it's going to dominate the thing, and we don't want to do that.
There's the other one there. But there's two or three more in there like that, similar, different color. But that's kind that I used to play with.
And when you
Yeah.
played and you won the game and you got all the marbles, you got to put them in your pocket and leave home with them, or did you give the other guy back?
Oh no. No, once you played and you won, you either lost or won or that's the way they played then.
That was the object of the game.
Finders keepers, you know,
Right.
whoever won the game took the marbles.
Well, other than playing marbles, do you remember any other games? Like I know, did y'all have footballs or baseballs or basketballs around?
Well,
Uh,
we did in the later years because the marble deal probably was when I was in the second and third, fourth grade to begin to get out of it a little bit, I guess.
right,
But I didn't play marbles when I got a little bit older.
right.
I a little too old to play marbles.
Okay.
I was too good anyway for my own britches sometimes. I thought I was better than what I really was. But I had a lot of fun. You know, you got to know a bunch of boys, whoever you was playing with. Of course, the people you go to school with, you begin to know their habits and around them a whole lot. And they tell you things and you tell them things that goes on in your life. It's usually a two-way street once you get to know a guy.
Yeah.
Because the more you pour your heart out to him, he's going to do the same way with you. But
What kind of games were you participating in playing when you said a little older? Are you talking about junior high or high school ages or?
well, it was another game that we played with them same not them same marbles, maybe a marble not that good, but but you could distinguish it between a shoot marble that you shot with and your thumb compared to others that you just threw out there and played with, But it was other games that we played. We would take when we went home, and you had a can. You would put oh, if you didn't have a bottom on this side, but you had a bottom on that side, you could turn that can over and put you a hole in the top of that can. And whoever says 4 or 5 of y'all around there, you would choose to who went first and second or third or whatever, and whoever's marble went through the hole there as they dropped it from their belt buckle or something like that down to the where the can was. If one of those marbles went in and others didn't, the guy that went through the hole would be the winner, and he'd get to other people's marbles that was in that can. Says 3 or 4, 5, 6 of you playing or so whatever it was.
Right.
You get all the marbles. So that was another game that we used to play. But the other games, as you get older.
Let me interrupt you and ask you something. When you just said the word can,
Yeah.
I heard and I saw on the older black and white shows where they were playing kick the can.
Yeah.
Did y'all kick a can ever? And you remember that?
No, I don't think so. It's just a term I think it
possibly
people use to pass the time away. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. They may have been doing other things besides just kicking a real can, but maybe was it just an expression that you were using to talk about what you were doing?
Well, when did you start playing sports in school to where you were playing baseball, basketball, football, or was
About
that
either the 6th or 7th grade.
at school?
Yeah, I began to play school
Was
football.
that team sports or was that like a
Yeah,
recess deal?
we used to have a team called, and that was when I was going to school, called the Midgets. They had the midgets, and then they had junior ball, and then they had senior ball, and we didn't have anybody that we could play against except Dice, Arkansas, had another midget team, and they would go play Dice, or Dice would come over to the Mark Tree. And I remember whenever we went to Dice one time, about the first few times that we went over there, we didn't know how to even line up and play. We just well, it's going all over. There it is. We
You
just
put them in that box if you want to.
I'm better. I know we run off a tee just like the big boys did, but we were called the midgets, is what we were called.
Talking about the formation when you say T, like the dead T.
Yeah, we'd run off a T formation, and
You had 3 backs in the backfield and you
yeah,
had a
had a
quarterback.
quarterback, and I wasn't playing quarterback then. Well, I was playing quarterback some, but people didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to play. Most of them didn't, and they were just out there, but they were trying to play and have fun. But one time we went to Dice Colony to play over there, and they found out that I was pretty good. And every time I'd run the ball, I'd make some yardage. And there was one time they run me so many times, I tell you what, they would run me about every play because I'd make some yardage, and they'd run me right up the gut, is what they would do, usually right over center. But since I was, know a little bit about football, and that's all I'd done the last few years of my life, I guess, boy, was playing midget football. But most of the boys didn't know, except how to line up, just about it. But to go get to somebody to block, they may have known just to hit the man in front of them, I guess. Block
Yeah.
him. He's he's the nearest.
Base blocking. You just block whoever's right there in
Yeah,
front of
who
you.
was ever closest to you. But it was just another game that was good to play because that's all kids did.
Well, you said you were pretty good at it. Did you did you realize you were good in midget football, or were they realizing
Yeah.
you were good, your coaches? And
Well,
did you have coaches for midgets,
yes,
coaches for junior, and
yes,
coaches for high school that
yes.
were different coaches, or did they all
Oh,
coach everybody?
oh no, and when you got to going to school, you either played junior or senior ball then, and I played in the seventh grade midget ball because I was too little to play, junior ball. But once I got to the eighth grade, I began to learn how to play with a team, to run to a particular hole or where the defenses was lined up and what position they were playing. But it was just a lot of fun. And of course, I had fun running that ball every time because sometimes I'd get loose and I would run for some pretty good yardage. But we had a few boys that knew how to play and some didn't. And I remember one time, since I was captain of the midget football team because when the juniors and seniors marched in the prom and they got girl got
Queen and all that.
queen, and yeah, and they had a in the midgets they had a girl that had a midget queen, a junior queen, and a senior queen, and this girl that I was uh, going to walk out to, and we exchanged whatever we exchanged out there. I don't even remember what it was now. Whatever it was, I might could think of it. But I just remember her name was June Shipman, was what her name was. And I was about as close as you are to me now, or maybe a little bit closer. And she, well, I know it's about this close because she began to say, Bobby Scott, you're not going to kiss me. Bobby Scott, you're not going to kiss me. The closer I got, I could hear her. And she kept saying that. And when I did get up there, I to kiss her or not kiss her, I just leaned over and just put a smack on the side of her face is what I did instead of kissing her in the mouth. I didn't know how to kiss no girl in the mouth no way, but it was just funny to me later on.
What do you think? Maybe you were to give her a flower and she was giving you a football or some kind of exchange like that, or
Well, it was something that
did everybody did? I mean, everybody did
yeah,
the same little
yeah,
routine,
yeah. It was what, but the lower on the pole you got, the less you had in your hand to give the girl.
right?
Because the queen, she got a
Yeah.
pretty good dip of whatever she had. I don't even know what she got. I have no idea.
Well, that went by kind of fast, but we did get to talk about a little bit. And when next week rolls around, which will be the 28th, we'll do it all again. And I will see you then, Dad. Bye.
Okay, take care.